Blog Talk Radio.
You're quite hostile.
I got a right to be hostile, man. My people been persecuted.
Revolution is not an event, it's a process.
I want the truth.
We have to dare to be different and dare to tell the truth.
We don't see the fire, but the house is burning.
Look up a book and feed your mind.
That took over.
How will the people say? You are a deceived people. Nobody else can do this for us.
Take that white Jesus down.
Something is wrong.
Do the research like we do the research. You'll be convinced also.
Turn off Fake Housewives of Atlanta.
Continue to raise the intellect and the consciousness of the human family.
Professor Griff knows.
So I ain't no coach.
One, two, 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, sure. FM7 is working. If somebody get laptop or I can get to.
You're infringing on personal property.
Bruh, that's you got a whole table over there.
I can use your microphone right so I have. Really rough.
Oh, bro, how you gonna start this argument at the beginning of the show like that? Trying to get my microphone right. You been messing with my microphone?
You just have the table set up like, yeah.
Anyway, like I was about to say, this NMEMINDZ radio. On the Minds Matter Blog Talk Radio Network that matters of the Minds Matter. Greetings, family, peace, hotep, shalom, assalamu alaikum, habibi afodie. What's good? Good evening, and welcome to another edition of NMEMINDZ Radio with your hosts, Professor Griff and Ken. We welcome back to the microphone, as y'all have already heard. He's already back, starting trouble, Mr. ZaZa Ali.
Peace to, first of all, peace to all the brothers and sisters who sent messages and text messages to you, your well wishes, posted messages on our Facebook page. I did read all of them.
And the ones that didn't want to send messages because they wanted to send something personal, but they thought I was.
Yes. Exactly. All the brothers and sisters who showed me love and sent positive energy and well wishes in my direction. I am better. When we take long road trips, it has a very fatiguing impact on me. So I'm working on some holistic methods to up my energy and to improve my immune system so that I can get ready to pound the pavement, because I know once this book drops, it's gonna be on, as FedEx would say. But peace to the gods and goddesses, peace to the RBGs, peace to the Pan African family, peace to the Rastafari, peace to the Black Nationalists, peace to the North, peace to the Hebrew Israelites, the Native Americans, and the original family covering every 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth.
This is the show where minds produce minds that produce great minds, because minds matter. We are souls in search of souls that are like mine. This show and every show is dedicated to all those that are dedicated, as taught to us by our good brother, Dr. Reverend Phil Donington.
We were also taught by Sister Amy Garvey to stand on our own 2 feet and fight like hell for our place in this world.
And we're definitely standing on the verge of getting it on to bring about a revolution. Revolution of the mind, that is, because, once again, mind matter. My mind matter, your mind matters, of minds matter. Revolution is complete, constructive, conscious, cosmic change. You can be whatever you want to be in this world's life on your way to becoming gods and goddesses, having a human experience called you, as taught to us by Professor James Small.
And that was also taught to us by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who taught us to find God you must look within. Heaven and hell is a state of mind, not an actual physical place. Therefore, we build minds and tell truth and falsehood, destroying its building.
Once again, this is Enemy Minds Radio on the Minds Matter Blog Talk Radio Network, where matters of the mind matter. Our aim and our mission
is to raise vibrational pitch of our thinking into the mind of the Creator, as taught to us by Tavis Muhammad,
and also to raise the consciousness level of the human family and replace racism, white supremacy with justice, so that we can live in peace on this planet that we affectionately call home. I mean Earth, both home and Earth. Yeah.
The call-in number is 347-633-9644. Hit us up. We want to know what's on your mind, especially concerning this topic, this very important topic that we're dealing with today. We often hear people asking us what's the solution. Well, we want to hear from our brothers and sisters, especially the street soldiers who are out there in the streets fighting this war. We want to know what you think the solution is.
All right. So in the spirit of our ancestor whose shoulders we stand on, we like to say Ashe. And Ashe simply means so be it. We say Ashe because we will it and we call it into existence. With that said, I want to call on the spirit of all. Can you imagine, Zaza, all of the people that we will never know the names of these people that fought beasts?
I do that all the time.
All of the brothers and sisters that escaped, all of the brothers and sisters that had patents for inventions and all kind of stuff that we will never even know their name.
And not even have the mindset to know to run. I mean, if you were born enslaved and lived that way your whole entire life and never knew anything else, but something within them, that God force was pulling on them, telling them that they were worth more than just that lifestyle.
Exactly. So I want to call on the spirit, that spirit of all the unknown soldiers. I often say it, but we never talk about it. All those unknown soldiers that had the idea that one day their children's children would be free, or their children's children would be at these microphones talking a good talk, talking about freedom, justice, and equality, talking about being free, talking about fighting the enemy back. To all those unknown soldiers, we like to say Ashe.
Ashe. And tonight I'm not going to come in the spirit of an ancestor, but I do want to come in the spirit of a sister who is still with us, especially since we're doing this show dealing with black-on-black matters, black-on-black violence, Sister Amina Matthews out of Chicago, who is most certainly a force to be reckoned with. Right now she is battling cancer, and this sister, if you haven't seen The Interrupters, which is a documentary dealing with gang violence in Chicago, and seen this sister, as well as the brothers who were in the video, step out in the middle of heated gang, what's the word I'm looking for?
Gang violence?
Rivalries. Step out in the middle of them and actually talk these brothers off the bridge, as some would say, to see her love and her passion. And man, she's just a beautiful, powerful, all around, just amazing sister. And I'm so just enamored by her, and I pray that I am able to meet her one day soon. But right now she is sick. She's dealing with some health issues. We want to try to hook her up with either Dr. Sebi or Layla Africa. So anybody who is in a position, who knows her, who can get a direct line to her, where maybe we can make that connection, please let us know. There's also a GoFundMe page created in her honor, because they're trying to raise $100,000, because if you are fighting cancer with the medical industry of this world, then it is extremely costly, and that $100,000 is nowhere near enough what that would cost. But in the name and in the honor and in the spirit of the freedom fighter Amina Matthews, as well as all the prophetess, messengers, and guides who came to us in the persons of great women, we say Ashe. Ashe.
And to all those unknown brothers that we've seen with scarves and towels and rags around their faces in Ferguson, in the street, telling them devils and them crackers exactly where to go.
That's right.
Telling them the truth as they roll upon them with cameras and microphones. Brothers knowing their history now. Yep. The average teenager knows their history. And when they run up in your face with the camera, there was a few brothers that we've seen on YouTube told these devils exactly what the truth is and didn't back down.
He said, "You the devil."
Exactly. He said, "Well, he's he's the real Jew. He says, no, we're the real Jew.
Right. He said, I'm Jewish. He said, no, I'm a Jew. And he said, he tried to hug him. He said, no. These are real Jews out here.
Right, exactly. So we know who the imposter Jew is. And now this knowledge is spreading far and wide. And some of y'all that are listening should be ashamed of yourselves that you're still toting the line of our enemy, on information that our enemy put among us, still holding on to some of these falsehoods in religion and some of this other madness. You need to be ashamed of yourselves.
Right.
So anyway, to all those unknown soldiers that have fought, bled, died for the freedom and liberation struggle of our people here in the wilderness of North America and throughout the black African diaspora, to those brothers, we lift the black power fist for y'all. We raise our voices. You understand what I'm saying? In some cases, bow our heads or a moment of silence for all those brothers' names we will never, ever know. To all of y'all, we say 3 times, Ashe, Ashe, Asheo.
Asheo. I think it's you, right?
Who died?
It's you, right? Oh.
No, it's me, but I thought you was taking a deep breath because you wanted to say something.
No, I did want to, I wasn't on the show, so I wanted to acknowledge the people from the trip, but I'll do it later on after we get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you'd like to contact us, if you'd like to contact us, you can contact me, Professor Griff. Just tweet me. My Twitter handle is @RealProfGriff. My email address is ProfessorGriffPE@gmail.com. Facebook is Kavan Shah. Please, y'all don't tell nobody that's my name. All right, just go to the page. Don't pay no attention to the name. I don't really want everybody knowing my name like that. Facebook forced me to use my name, and y'all know what that's for. But don't worry about it because we can take care of that. But Professor Griff on Facebook. My website is www.pgriff.info. And if none of that really resonates with you and you just like using your cell phone because you got a new cell phone for your Eric Quirma present, you can hit me up at 678-557-2919.
Quirma?
That's how they say in the ATL show.
Quirma.
Christmas.
If you want to hit me up, you can hit me. I'm not on Facebook at the moment because they playing games, but I think I'm probably going to create a like page for the Black Matters book. Black Matters is becoming very popular, by the way, and somebody else liked NMEMINDZ Radio that's had the name Black Matters, so I just want to be on record for saying that my book name has been pretty much sealed for well over a year now. But if you want to hit me up, you can go to the NMEMINDZ Radio page on Facebook. I have been posting things and will continue to do so. Our email address, if you send an email, it will come directly to me. It's mindzmatter, MINDZMATTERBTRS @gmail.com. Our Twitter handle, is at NMEMINDZ Radio. I want to send a quick shout out to Sonetta, who had us. If you haven't seen the video of Griff and I, you definitely want to check that out on YouTube. It's called Professor Griff ZaZa Ali and Professor Griff Black Matters, and it's first me and Griff, doing what we do. He's asking us questions about, certain things, and then I did the presentation, my lecture, Ferguson. So definitely check that out. I actually talked about black on black violence a little bit, but check that out. Shout out to Sonetta. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I had the honor and the privilege of actually not only being in attendance to listen to her, but also to meet her, to hug her, to take a picture with her, and also grab the mic and expressed my deep love and respect for her, and told her how much her work had changed my life, and told her that Griff and I, are definitely picking up the flag or carrying the baton from where she started and moving forward to fight for our people. And also Professor James Smalls, man, that brother is serious. I didn't get to listen to him when he was on the show with you. I have to go back and listen to that, but I did get the honor of sitting at his lecture. Barely moved, maybe once or twice, but I was in awe of him breaking down the kinetic sciences and also the God sciences. Hopefully we'll get that DVD soon, and we'll be able to bring the brother to Atlanta soon because, man, he is just a wealth of knowledge. So shout out to Professor Smalls, Dr. Francis Cresswell-Singh, Sonetta, and all the beautiful brothers and sisters, DJ Earth One, Peace Queen, all the beautiful brothers and sisters who saw us. We see people, and it's like, oh, man, the testimonies. I met one sister at the event. She started crying, and my goodness. Yeah, so, man, we love our people. We love y'all, for real, and the testimonies of the impact that the work that we're doing is having. We talk about solutions all the time. Be a solution. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
All right. We have to shout out those people that are actually on the front lines, whatever level of degree of consciousness that they have. I mean, I got brothers, man, that are trooping, that are out there, that may not be, all the way there according to by their own admission. But I say, brother, you there, wherever you are, at the point where you are, you're there. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to B Son. Shout out to my man John Trey, Jaheed Muhammad. Dr. Baruch is having us come in this Saturday at Everlasting Light in Capitol Heights. And y'all should be there for this one because we're definitely going to put this one down to lay some of these things out that need to be laid out.
And we get so many messages from people in Washington, D.C.,
right,
Baltimore, Maryland, that whole entire area. So if you know somebody in that area, please hit them up and let them know we're going to be there because I just know next week is going to be like, oh, y'all were in Capitol Heights? I didn't know. I live right up the street from there.
Right. So, yeah, that was an interesting lecture facility that we see Professor Smalls in.
The African American Civil Rights
War Memorial.
Yeah.
Right on, was it you in Vermont?
Mm-hmm.
Critical, man. Sister Patricia Patton put it on.
Mm-hmm.
And to pick a location like that, you have to have some kind of insight. And it just because it created an atmosphere.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And the interesting dynamic of talking about the God consciousness and looking back at the greatness of our ancestors. And like I said when I spoke, to see, the images of these brothers who wanted to fight, who wanted something to stand for, to stand for something, to see that history unfold right before your eyes, and then to the reality of us still fighting the same war in 2014. Our people were fighting then. I'm not talking about the Civil War that they were fighting. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about fighting for freedom, justice, and equality.
Right.
And we're still fighting that war right now.
Right.
And then to read, some of the iconography of Abraham Lincoln and, Thomas Jefferson and these devils who owned slaves but are still heroes to this day.
Right.
I was listening to David Banner earlier, and he said he was talking about J. Edgar Hoover and how the federal building is named after J. Edgar Hoover, and basically saying you want to make strides towards changing the dynamic between black and white, stop upholding and uplifting people who were detrimental to the black race, to our people, like J. Edgar Hoover, like J. Marion Sims, who was the guy who's supposedly credited with gynecology, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, George Wallace, the list goes on and on and on and on and on.
Wallace and Washington.
Exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, I bring her name up, and her company is Abacus 6, simply because if we're talking about black on black violence, this is a question I have for you, Zaza. How is it that we could fight white people's wars? At the same time, they never even think about the massive black on black violence when it came to the Civil War. Blacks were fighting on the North and for the South, and people getting caught in between.
Right. It's funny. The book. What is it by Al-Nur? Black.
Black. Yeah.
It's called Black. Is it just Black or Blackness?
Blackness.
Okay. In the book, he said something that was so profound because he was like, "It's the fact that our people throughout the struggle have been fighting for the United States government, that you arm them
right
to fight in another land, and then you come back and you relinquish your weaponry when you technically are still at war with these people, says a lot about us." Wow. Our man, the way he phrased it, I got to find that so I can read that. But Yeah, you know, I know Minister Farrakhan said one time when I think it was in Justifiable Homicide, actually, when he was talking about calling the hundreds of thousands of black people who were fighting in different parts. He was like, do you want us to call back our people who are fighting, who are trained killers?
Right, exactly.
Because you do realize those are trained killers.
Well, even the people that retired from the military and it was once in the military, like myself,
right,
who they trained to kill.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, real talk.
No, real talk. I'm talking about grenades and M72 grenade launchers and M16A1 rifles, handguns, 45s. I mean, they've taught it all to me.
So how do we juxtapose that with everybody saying, I hear people all the time saying, we can't do anything until we have an army. Black people.
We have an army.
Okay.
It may not be a uniformed army, but no, we have an army.
Okay. Check.
Yeah. But anyway, let me get through the rest of this. Shout out to Kanita Lindsay.
Peace.
Because
we were with her.
That's right. We were with her at the lecture.
Yes.
We got a couple of pictures to send you that the photographer took at the lecture, sister. You'll be very, very surprised. You were smiling like, yeah, you got your first pair of Pampers, man, with your matching Nikes on.
Really?
Anyway, General Shakia Jamal J. Phillip Smith.
Salute.
Peace, man.
He be hooking the flyers up.
Thank you, man. The flyer is ill, bro. We really appreciate you and all the work that you and your queen do.
Sister Erica just said something in the chat room that she said, I learned how to shoot a rifle in ROTC. That was my first time handling a gun in my life. I can remember being in high school when they had ROTC and seeing them walking through looking like military, like they're in the military.
Exactly.
In high school.
Yeah, I was in the cadets. I was in.
Man.
I've learned.
Thank you for that, sister.
How to handle guns from a young age. But, UGR, my good brother Rich. We missed you uptown, Brother Rich. But Brother Rich sent me a message. He said we're going to talk about this Cuba thing.
Yes.
Next Wednesday.
That's going to be good because we can take that so many different places.
Right. So we're going to talk about this Cuba thing, and we're going to talk about the domestic and foreign policy of the United States of America.
And, of course, Assata Shakur.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot we're going to talk about next Wednesday. But for tonight, as a matter of fact, let me finish this out. My niece, who I'm growing to be very, very proud of because she's listening, Lori Alexander, and her children are listening and friends. It means a lot to me when family members listen, simply because, whatever they thought about me growing up, other than the karate dude and the funny dude and the other stuff, I think that they've kind of knew that, not to know that the Public Enemy thing was going to happen because I was DJ for a long time in Roosevelt High School, but to know that I would grow to be this individual, not the fact that, sometimes I may sound intelligent and articulate, or sometimes I may sound courageous or whatever, but the total sum of who I am simply because I answered the call to the Creator and recognize the gift that the Creator deposited in me. And this is what I'm trying to get not only Lori, but other family members and friends and people that's within the sound of my voice to recognize and understand. There's a gift that the Creator deposited in you. Recognize it and just be, regardless of what anyone says, plain and simple.
Yeah. I
could go to the damn family reunion and 10,000 family members can be opposed to what I have to say. I'm still standing my ground. Right. Plain and simple.
So we did, because you mentioned Lori, and peace to Lori. I hope she got the packages.
She did. She wrote me. She told me she got it.
Cool. We got a message from a sister on the NMEMINDZ page. She said, hello, I just started listening to the radio station yesterday, and I'm so impressed with both of you. Yes, I'm late, LOL. I was at work and listened the whole 8-hour shift. She talked about purchasing Real Love by Ava Muhammad. She said, I'm now listening to the holiday segment, and I won't be celebrating any more holidays from this point on. Thanks to you both. I told my 10-year-old son about the station last night, and we will be listening live today. I'm so excited.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to put her name out there, but that's the type of stuff. We get those messages all the time.
Right.
And people say, whatever your idea of what the problem is or what the solution is, if you build people, man.
And to that sister, I'd like to say, I don't know your name because I'm on the other side of the board here. I don't know your name, but your words are vibrating through my spirit right now, simply because we're not trying to build followers. We're trying to build leaders.
All right, and you got that 10-year-old God over there. I know what that's about, being a mother of an 11-year-old son. If he's listening, peace to the young God.
All right. So tonight we're going to talk about black on black violence, in servitude to white domination. All right. The title, which, you know, we study Amos Wilson's work, but sometimes when you trying to come up with that particular subject at the right time, which by right, I'm thinking we should be dealing with the God essence, religion, these corny holidays, but how many times can we have that talk?
Right.
We're going to have that talk on the 27th as this year. And this is not even the end of the year. We don't know what time it is according to our calendar.
Right.
We're going to talk about that, the time signature on the 27th in Atlanta, Georgia. But there's a few things I want to talk about beyond Christmas, Easter, and some other stuff.
Right.
We need to talk about the true definition of what spirituality is as opposed to religion. We need to talk about the time signature, what time we're on as a people, not according to the Gregorian calendar. So we need to talk about a few things. So family, join us tonight as we talk about black on black violence in servitude to white domination. Title of the book by our good brother, Dr. Amos Wilson.
So to get it started, I want to read something from the book. He says, this is in the intro, he says, white supremacy by its very nature, wait a minute, am I starting at the right point? He said, the primary causal factor in black criminality and violence is white supremacy. White supremacy by its very nature and intent requires the continuing oppression and subordination of African people and, in time, may require their very lives. Subordination of a people requires that people in some way or ways be violated, dehumanized, humiliated, and that some type of violence be perpetuated against them. The violently oppressed react violently to their oppression. Let me say that again. The violently oppressed react violently to their oppression. When their reactionary violence, their retaliatory or defensive violence cannot be effectively directed at their oppressors or effectively applied to their self-liberation, it then will be directed at and applied destructively to themselves. This is the essence of black-on-black violence. Oppressive violence is both proactive and reactive, directed and misdirected. Black men kill each other because they have not yet chosen to challenge and neutralize on every front the widespread power of white men to rule over their lives. And I
think between the lines of what you just read, we need to understand, if we can break what Amos Wilson said down, we need to understand that I need to say this. Hold on, let me stop this music. All right. We need to understand that black-on-black violence is predicated on white-on-black violence. Because roll your mind back and let's press the historical reset button. Think of a time before white people came. We didn't have jails and old folks' homes and all this kind of madness. Right. There was no need to build one. Yeah. There was, as John Henry Clark teaches, there was no need for an old folks' home because we never put old people in one. There was no need for jails. Do you understand what I'm saying? We had our own laws, and our laws was based on the divine laws of the universe and the divine intelligence, and we need to understand that. So when we talk about black on black, we have to talk about white on black violence. Mind you, we never talk about white on white violence. Right.
Yeah. And I have some statistics. I'm going to pull out that page up. But remember we were listening to, what was that? Help me, please add me to your contacts. Oh, somebody sent me a message on Skype. Brianna, okay. What was I about to say? Oh, remember we were listening to Francis Cresswell sing on some radio show, maybe Carl Nelson, and the guy called in and he was frustrated. Yeah. And I think this was after one of the killings, one of the recent killings, maybe Trayvon or somebody. He was frustrated and he was like, he was upset with her because he was like, that's old what you talking about. Right. Talking about racism, white supremacy. Right. What about the fact that we are killing each other every single day? We're not talking about it. And he got kind of a little, he was upset. And she remained cool, she remained calm, and she basically stood on what she's been standing on all this time, that racism, white supremacy is at the root of all of our issues, all of our problems. there's a few things that I would like to highlight that lends credence to that. The movies, Juice, Belly, Boys in the Hood, Sugar Hill.
Right.
See,
white on black violence. These movies are made by white studios.
Exactly.
And they don't mind paying actors and producers and directors to come make these kind of movies to perpetuate the ongoing black on black violence, because they control our particular environment, what we see, touch, taste, smell, hear, and especially what we understand to be our quote unquote lifestyle, culture, or whatever. Because it's in the movies, we think it's entertainment.
Well, and you talked about, I know I didn't hear the show on Tuesday, but because I know we've had this conversation so many times about the power of media.
Exactly.
And, you know, television is the greatest weapon that they have now.
Right.
You know, when you look at these movies and then you know, simultaneously see movies like Django and 12 Years a Slave, I mean, at what point have they used the media to uplift and edify the image of black people? Never.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, some people would say the Cosby Show, right?
Yeah, but then you turn around and you get what they're doing to Cosby now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but you know, the Cosby Show had a positive impact, so we'll give the Cosby Show a different world, definitely. But at the same time, now what we have to remember, when was the Cosby Show prominent? In the late 80s, early 90s?
Right.
That's when they upped the ante on the war on drugs.
Yeah, because 84, 85, crack.
They
AIDS.
Yes.
And crack, right.
Okay, so this is what we have to remember. I said this about Barack Obama being in office versus the multitude of movies on slavery coming out right now. And, you know, now you got Selma, the new civil rights movement. And if you think that the timing of that movie versus us marching in every city right now trying to get some justice, if you think that that's an accident and you don't, you're not studying properly. We're going to talk about this weekend in Washington D.C. But you know, the images that they portray of us, particularly our men, and then where are the guns coming from? Where do the guns come from?
Yeah, we don't manufacture guns. So when you start talking about black on black violence, beyond the statistics, we need to deal with. Please listen to what I'm saying to y'all. Do a simple. This is one formula that I always use. When I hear something on the news or I keep hearing it over and over and over, I stop and I said, that's branch knowledge.
Yes.
Let's go to the root.
Right.
Once I go to the root, let's deal with cause and effect. You see, in the Kabbalion, it deals with the law of cause and effect.
Right.
And if you just deal with that one divine law, listen, I don't want to say this and be disrespectful, put your religion on pause for a minute. Let's roll over to the divine laws and let's look at the law of cause and effect. If guns are in the black community and black people are shooting and killing one another over circumstances and things, the hood, for us to kill one another over, who is the cause of that? You see, when you hear black on black violence, that's the effect.
Right.
What is the cause of the effect?
Right. And of course, we talked about in the thing that I did with Sonetta in the past couple of lectures, how Frances Cress Welsing breaks down in her book about the gun, and the gun being the equalizer for the white man. So, you know, talk about that dynamic if you can. In one aspect, we have white men using guns, and you know how they love their damn guns.
Right.
As an equalizer to compare and contrast the black man's genitalia.
Right.
In other words, the black man with his seed can basically wipe out all other races, and most importantly, the Caucasians, because they are the recessive trait. They do have the recessive genes.
Right.
They are the weakest as far as their genetics. So talk about that and white men creating so many guns and having this be a nation of guns versus black men having guns, and why are they in our communities? What's the compare and contrast on that?
We're going to break that down in a few minutes, but do you mind if we go for a commercial break and then we will come right back and we can dive right into that. We can go into Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's work. We can go into Burrell's work. We can go into Dr. Bobby E. Wright. and we can break this down so we can. So we're going to dive into this thing on the flip side of this as while we go, and as we would say in Radio Land, go and pay the bills. All right, let's do that. This is Professor Griff, and did I say welcome back? I haven't seen you, so can I shake your hand? Wrong hand.
Bruh.
Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Are you sick? Should I wash this hand?
What?
Okay, anyway. Welcome back, Zaza. We really appreciate you. Black here at NMEMINDZ Radio. Now, listen, we want y'all to know that we're going to start filming inside of the studio here that we affectionately call the library. So y'all can actually see how we kind of put this thing together and see the work that it takes to put a show together. And we're not going to do too many of them, so just kind of tuck them away when we do put them out there. All right, so we will be right back on the flip side of this thing. And peace.
110% Clothing is an apparel that caters to the athletic and fitness community. Our goal is to provide top quality athletic apparel and accessories in this particular market. We sell hats, shoes, and shirts for any athletic or outdoor activity. You can contact us at 110%clothing.com or call 800-216-3623. That's 800-216-3623.
Get your loved one out of jail. Express Bail Bonding Company is located at 236 Forsyth Street, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. We provide professional and courteous service with getting your loved ones out of jail fast. We are open 24 hours a day and provide service in the surrounding Georgia counties and the United States. Call us at 404-522-3201. Again, that's 404-522-3201. Once again, that's 404-522-3201.
At Eat, Drink, and Be Conscious, we have a world of products choosing organic ingredients first and 100% all-natural superior ingredients second. Eat, Drink, and Be Conscious created 100% all-natural personal skincare line, the home of our aluminum-free 100% all-natural deodorant with bentonite clay, with or without probiotics for adults and children. Our silky smooth, 100% pure shea butter base skin souffle is great for your skin, especially dry skin, all made with fragrances or pure essential oils. All of our products contain no useless carrier oils, no parabens, no animal derivatives, just no-nonsense skin food. It's good for you. We even have 100% all-natural fluoride-free toothpaste that remineralizes your teeth and helps prevent tooth decay. Visit edmbc.com. Order your superior products today. Health is wealth, and you're worth it. edmbc.com.
Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Wear your pride on your chest with Foxy's unique limited edition apparel for men, women, and kids. Check them out at myfoxy.com. That's myfoxy.com. At Foxy, they even have a variety of art, pillows, and more at myfoxy.com. Use coupon code MMBTRS14 and get 10% off your order. Get Foxy.
This is your man, Cut the Check. Checking in one time.
Cut the check, man.
Producer, songwriter, artist. Whatever you need, I got it. Like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Check out for my beats on SoundCloud. Follow me on Instagram at Cut the Check. KUTTCHECHECK. Get at my Gmail, songforcut@gmail.com. That's SONGZ4KUTT@gmail.com. Got that heat for y'all. Yeah.
Does your business need a boost? Did you hire Pookie and them to do your logo? At Free Yourself Designs, we can help you and your business stand out with our graphic design services, backed by our 100% custom design guarantee. Call us today, 919-964-FYD1. That's 919-964-3931. Or email us at freeyourselfdesigns@outlook.com. Free yourself and free your mind with Free Yourself Designs.
6212. All right, brothers and sisters, you need to write this down because what we're going to do, and this is something that is going to give you a taste of what some of the things we're going to be doing in the cipher, in the study group, the cipher. If you haven't signed up for the cipher study group, online study group, just hit Professor Griff me up at 678-557-2919. We have to study, brothers and sisters. What better way? You ain't got to drive nowhere. You ain't got to go nowhere. Just come online. And we'll tell you how to log in, when to log in, and you can sit and study with whomever you want to study with the comfort of your own home, via your phone and your computer. All right? So it's an online study group called the Cipher. That's PSYPHA, the Cipher. All right? History. We're going to be dealing with history as taught to us by our warrior scholars, symbology and the language of the occult. We're going to deal with the Kabbalion and the purpose for spirituality versus religion, metaphysics and the esoteric meaning and the deeper sciences of life. Talking about the Kabbalion. I talked about the law of cause and effect. You see, this is something that we have to know and understand at the core of what we're dealing with when we're trying to understand the science of life. These particular laws are operating regardless of whether you want to believe them or not, brothers and sisters. So go to the Kabbalion, Kybalion. Take your time, write it down. The Kabbalion, Kybalion. Look up the law of cause and effect. Causation is called. I believe it's chapter 7. But anyway, law of cause and effect. It says every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law, the divine law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. That's the 7th chapter of Kabbalah. All right, we're going to get into these divine laws in the study group cipher, and we're going to get deeper into them in the alchemical cipher when our website is up and running, and myself and Zaza are going to go in and fit and show you, all right, show you the actual documentation and film clips and dive deeper into these particular sciences in the alchemical cipher. But right now, we just want you to sit in the cipher.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? All right.
Sister Erica posted in the chat room the PDF. It's at www.hermetics.org. You can get the free PDF version of the Kabbalion. Now, if you don't have some sense of, the book may throw you if you are not used to reading about metaphysics or about higher concepts of thinking and learning. So don't get discouraged if that's where you are right now. Read it, take in what you can take in and digest, and then go, do some more studying. And when you come back, it will resonate with you. But in the book, it actually talks about, and this is a little off the subject, but it talks about the fact that there are people among us every day and have been since the beginning of time who master themselves, who are operating on a totally different plane than the rest of the world.
Exactly.
I want to be in that number.
Yes.
So, were you done?
One last thing.
Okay.
You've heard commercials every single week, 2 times a week, here on NMEMINDZ Radio. If you would like a commercial, 30-second to 45-second commercial, you want to kind of do some business with us, some advertising, you can contact Zaza at Minds Matter BTRS. That's MINDZ MATTERBTRS at Gmail. Send her a message and let us know what kind of commercial you want. It's very affordable, I think so.
Very affordable, and
how many people do we reach?
Well, on a month now, we're averaging about 45,000, and then on YouTube, because brother Mr. Truth Seeker, shout out to Mr. Truth Seeker, is reposting our shows. So anywhere from 45,000 to maybe 67,000 a month.
Right, that's 67,000 people a month you can reach. All right, so. Yeah, just give Zaza. I was about to give Zaza a call, but I don't want to do that to the brothers because the brothers, y'all be killing me, man.
Y'all be killing me. No, but yeah, if you want to advertise, you can email me. I'll send you the brochure with all of the information, and let's make it happen. And this is where we go. We talk about the science of business and using the platforms that we have in order to, get to the next level. So hit me up. But I talked earlier about, I just want to read this real quick because I found it. The book is called The Meaning of Blackness. It's by Amnur. This is a powerful, powerful book. This is a very powerful book. The only thing I get kind of gray when people start talking about evolution and, trying to make some sort of give credibility to, the evolution and evolving from apes and all of that. That's another story. We settle on the best part. In the book, he says, and this is what I was talking about earlier, another interesting point is that as the early agents of global white supremacy refined the practice of word redefinition, it astonished them to see how their captive children would zealously defend them during times of war. Just think about it. Guns in the hands of the oppressed. People who, when the conflict was over, returned their weapons back into the hands of their oppressor. This obviously denotes a very high level of behavior modification. Unquestionably, this reflects the relationship blacks in America have with whites for over 250 years. During this time, we fought in every war from before the Revolutionary War to Desert Storm, and our youth continue to join the military as the agents of global white supremacy execute new wars for oil and other resources, currently code-named a war on terrorism. Still, after each conflict, we return our weapons back to our overlords. Why have we consistently returned our weapons back to those who continually oppress our people? The alarming answer is that most black people today, like many of those yesterday, both young and old, do not understand that we are still captives living inside a hostile nation. That's right, we are still captives inside America. Very powerful, and when he said that, it just, my father fought in the military, and it's funny because he was in Vietnam and told me about the people there actually thought that black men had tails. And he would meet women, he was a handsome, tall, dark-skinned brother, so, he would meet women and they would ask him, thinking that he had a tail. We're not the ones who have the tail, but that's another story. So, yeah, you definitely want to check out that book if you can. Noor is the author. I think, if I'm not, Baruti said it's not in print anymore. He said he knows this brother. It's not in print anymore. So you may be able to get a used copy online. I don't know. But, yeah.
Yeah, I know the brother. He's a really, really good brother. He was around Atlanta doing a few lectures and trying to get the book out and just trying to get it distributed in different parts of the country. But like I said to you before, it's one of those situations where a book comes out, it's out of print.
Right.
You have one or two copies, and you'll probably never find it again. So we need to hold on to this.
Two. One for me, one for you.
Oh, you just liberate mama. Listen, I was just over there in the bookshelf right behind you. There's 5 copies of the Willie Lynch letter. Like, it's one of those situations where, you're traveling, you're out and about, and you see the Willie Lynch letter. It's only, 20 pages?
Right.
But it's really, really deep.
And I think that's very relevant to what we're talking about.
Exactly. I was about to lead into that. When you're talking about black-on-black crime, I'm going to go back to the Kabbalion, the cause and the effect. What is the cause? When we open up the phone lines, we want to hear from you. What is the cause of black people having so much hatred and self-hatred? What is the cause of black people fighting and killing one another? Why is it that black people don't kill white people at this alarming rate? Right. I was over there searching for Bobby E. Wright's book.
And I'm glad you mentioned Bobby E. Wright. Mm-hmm. You didn't find it?
No, can I go back to the shelf over
yes,
because
you can.
I think I know where it's at.
You can. I'm going to play that clip in just a second. But Bobby E. Wright said something in one of his lectures I was listening to that was very profound. He talked about the impact that it has on us when we watch films where our people are being killed. He said that we need to stop doing that. That's the slave movies. That's the, Juice, Belly, all of these different movies where our people are dying. He said we need to stop doing that because it is having, especially with our children, is having a very profoundly negative impact. And when I heard that, it made me think about my son. We went to see, I went to the movies with him and my younger brother, and they went and saw the Oscar Grant movie. I had already seen it, so I went to go see another movie that I wanted to see. And he came into the movie theater after the movie ended, and he was obviously shook, like he had seen a ghost. So I was asking my brother, I said, Brian, what's wrong with him? And he was like, I don't know. And I think the movie kind of shook him up. And so I'm looking at him, and he was, he was just shook. And so I grabbed him and I hugged him and I asked him, was he okay? And, talked to him. And he was crying at the end of the movie when he actually saw Oscar Grant be killed. Now, of course, I'm from Oakland. We live in Oakland. So, it's a lot more personal to us because we were living in that area and the climate and everything that was happening. But that was a very important lesson for me because, we think that watching Roots with our children is a history lesson. Or a lot of the different movies that depict slavery and whatnot. But there's a time and a place for everything. I think we shouldn't really start introducing that to our children until, maybe 15, 16, you think?
As far as those kind of movies are concerned?
Extremely violent and just the reality.
Yeah, but you're absolutely correct. But prior to that, we got to take the damn video games out of their hands.
Yeah.
That's just equivalent to going and watching a movie. They're killing 200 people a day on the video games.
I agree.
And repetition is the mother of learning.
You're right. The point that Bobby E. Wright was making was that it has a very profoundly negative impact when they see their people being killed, when they see a black man or a black woman being killed on film.
Right.
So just be mindful of that, brothers and sisters, when you're watching these movies, especially when you're watching them with your children.
Right. I have to get me a better copy of this. Brothers and sisters, this book is not big at all, and it's probably one of those books I've read at least a dozen times. And at that time, back in the day, it was only $6. I don't know what it costs now, but it's
$6.
Zaza,
$6.
You keep pushing me. Can we take a pause for 1 second, brothers and sisters? Let me tell you something, Zaza. You're going to keep pushing me, and I swear I'm going to just let this barrage of jokes out on you. You're not going to be able to take it, bro. I'm telling you, sis. You keep nudging me.
It's not going to work out well on your behalf.
Why is that?
I'm just saying.
You see how threatening me, y'all?
It's not going to work well for you.
But
it's not going to work well for you.
Okay. Anyway, on page 2, Bobby Wright talks about the psychopath. He says the psychopath is an individual who is in constant conflict with other persons or group, able to experience guilt. He is completely selfish and callous, and he has total disregard for the rights of others. I've just described Hannity, Combs, and the rest of them devils.
Right.
Let me go to the next page now. Bobby E. Wright also says in his book, and this is what Sister Soldier got into a little bit of hot water about. Bobby E. Wright says blacks kill blacks because they have never been trained to kill whites. Therefore, it is outside of our experience historically. The European system has encouraged the killing of blacks. And since blacks have been led to believe that they're a part of the psychopath system, they simply follow the practice.
Wow. We're
talking about black-on-black violence and servitude of white domination. It is imperative that racism, white supremacy keeps you dumb.
Yeah.
It is imperative that racism, white supremacy keeps you on drugs, makes you a homosexual. It is imperative that racism, white supremacy keeps you murdering one another so they could live. These people are genetically inferior to us, and they know. Listen, I don't watch Survivor and the rest of that stuff, but way in the background somewhere, if I heard on the news or overhearing a conversation that the black woman won the $1 million,
yay!
I'm
Natalie.
rooting for her. You understand what I'm saying?
I watched Survivor,
But
and Natalie won.
We have to understand what that does. I'm just saying that, Zaza, to get people to understand what does that do to the psyche of whites.
Yeah.
To know that we outran them, outthought them,
right?
Just out everything.
Yeah.
And out of all of them people, both white and black people on the show, a sister came out on top.
And it begs the question, and I always say this, why do they spend so much time and energy trying to keep us back? So much effort. It's like, in my book I talk about vaccination programs and how Bill and Melinda Gates have dedicated all these hundreds of millions of dollars towards, vaccination and stopping malaria and diphtheria and all these different tuberculosis and polio. They could probably spend half of that and create infrastructure in these impoverished areas, which they actually are the ones who impoverished them in the first place.
Exactly.
Through systematic racism,
yes.
Especially Africa.
Environmental racism,
yes.
And institutionalized racism.
Yes. They could spend half the money that they spent, waging biological and chemical war through vaccinations in the name of helping people, to actually give the people a hand and to help them to actually, pull their bootstraps up, if you will. What was I going to say? Damn, I lost my train of thought.
I can help you get it back. We're going to play this one clip.
Jesse and Al.
Yeah,
play that one.
You trigger it. I'll trigger it.
Okay.
So we're gonna go into this clip to hear what, and we're gonna open up the phone lines to get your questions and your comments about this particular subject. Black on black. I hear this all the time, ZaZa. We never protest, and we never hold up signs when black people kill one another. As soon as white people kill black people, yada yada yada. Well, we're going to speak to that on the flip side of this thing.
Why didn't we talk about black on black violence? You only talk about it when white people kill black people.
But you know something? This is an ongoing discussion with us, and we've given you 5 sources already. We didn't get into the Juanza Kunjufus and the other books that we have here, but we're going to dive into this thing. And we're going to let you know we get to the root cause of why there's so much black on black violence. Let's listen to this. We'll be right back.
We're talking about young Heaven Sutton, a beautiful little 7-year-old girl in Chicago who was shot by a gangbanger shooting at a rival gang member as that rival gang member purchased lemonade at her lemonade stand. A young 7-year-old capitalist in a murder capital like Chicago trying to do something good for herself, trying to get a little pocket change, because her family was going to Disney World the next weekend, and this happens to her. A true tragedy. A true tragedy. Now, I want to ask this. How many of you know about this? How many of you heard about it? I had to dig to find any information on it. I had to really dig to find information on it. The story sat out there for one day on some of the websites I was looking at. Then it was gone. It's not important. It's not a big deal. Everybody involved was black, so it's not a big deal. Doesn't matter when blacks kill blacks all day long. It's only if somebody else, like a Hispanic guy like George Zimmerman, they kill a black person, it's news. Imagine if it would have been a Mexican gang that shot this little 17-year-old girl. Imagine the outrage. The real outrage I have is, where was Al Sharpton? Where was this race-pimping fool? Jesse Jackson, it's right in your backyard. Where were you? They've offered a $3,000 reward for this person's capture, the person that killed her. $3,000. A $3,000 reward for this little girl who's murdered in cold blood on the street, trying to work and make a nice buck so she could go on vacation and have some money to spend. These fools, the new Black Panther Party, offered $25,000 for the capture of George Zimmerman. Now, where are these clowns at? Where are these headline hogs at? Where are these buffoons at? With this little 7-year-old girl getting gunned down. If these people, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, the new Black Panther Party, if they really meant well for their communities, and I mean this, if they meant well for their communities, they would be here. Because their community is falling apart in Chicago. There are more people that have been killed so far in 2012, 240 people murdered in 2012 in Chicago alone, than have been killed in Afghanistan. But you hear nothing about it. You don't hear Jesse Jackson talking about it. Al Sharpton's not talking about it. The new Black Panther Party members aren't talking about it. And it's their people killing their people. If they really cared about their people and their community, they would be there saying, we need to stop killing each other. But they're not. They're not there because it's not important to them. It's not about the betterment of their own community. It never has been. It's always been about stirring the pot with race with them. That's all it's ever been about. This beautiful young 7-year-old girl is murdered in cold blood, and nobody gives a damn about it. They're more interested in grabbing headlines in Florida to something that has nothing to do with them and may never be duplicated again. Meanwhile, 240 of their own people are getting shot and killed, and they do nothing about it. They don't care about their community. Don't buy the bull that they are dishing out. They care about one thing, themselves and stirring the pot and creating poor race relations in this country. They don't care about their own communities. And people, you guys in those communities ought to kick them out of those communities. Don't let them be figureheads and leaders and people that are speaking on your behalf in your communities. Boot them out. They don't care about you. You're just another number to them. They need to go.
I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey.
Like a spider monkey.
All right. All right. Wait. I need to do something. Hold on. Thank you, Mr. White Man. We really, really, truly appreciate that. You see, they tell on themselves every single time.
Right.
He echoed exactly what black people think of Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton.
Right.
So thank you. You're absolutely correct, Mr. White Man. Mr. People who classify yourselves as white.
And he know damn well he don't care about the little 7-year-old baby.
He don't.
He called her a capitalist because she was selling lemonade.
Don't that sound like a Boondocks episode?
Bro.
White people are something else, man.
Okay.
Listen, brothers and sisters, what you just heard is someone dealing with the effect and not the cause of the effect.
Right.
If she was selling lemonade, as we've all done, because I know I have, right. I'm not a capitalist. I just want to make some chump change to get some sneakers or whatever. The flyest hat that's out or whatever. All right. So, yes, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, maybe people write them off as race baiters. Okay, we can understand that. But he said they
wouldn't have anything to talk about if police officers would stop killing our children.
Exactly.
Our people.
But why didn't he mention the Minister Farrakhan's of the world who went on tour talking about stop the killing, justifiable homicide, and a million other titles that I could mention. So when Minister Farrakhan brings up these issues, all of a sudden it's like a media ban. We can't play that. Yeah. We can't play the truth of what the minister talks about. We can't play any of his clips. And the only time you see Minister Farrakhan and others like Minister Farrakhan that speak that degree of truth on the Hannity and Combs and these Fox and these other stations and the rest of these alphabet boys is when they chop the tape up.
Right. If you haven't heard the Justifiable Homicide lecture by Minister Farrakhan, you definitely need to check that out. It is on YouTube, and I think that is a very, if you can get a group of young men, especially if they're in a gang, put them in a room, get them some popcorn, some, not genetically modified, but something, to keep them there and put that on, I guarantee you that it will make them think. But, something that always occurs to me is that we always talk about how come black people don't talk about black-on-black violence. How come white people don't talk about and do anything about black-on-black violence?
Right.
How come Asians and Arabs and Latinos and all of these different people who have sucked the blood of our people and who also have gained entitlement and a certain level of comfort in this society because of the work of our people, you see young children every single day in a city like Chicago, Oakland, South Central, Brooklyn, the Bronx, whatnot. You see them killing each other. You see the news every single day and hear about young black teenagers being killed. How come you're not voicing, your concern? And even more so, and I always say this, our elitist black people try to separate themselves from us, those in the, upper middle class and, those well off among us. Mm-hmm. You are just as insane as you think the brother is on the block selling drugs and maybe robbing people, snatching purses. If you see your young people in the streets killing themselves and you don't do anything about it, and you don't even care.
Right. Complicit.
You are complicit, and you're just as insane as somebody who would walk up into a movie theater and kill everybody. Now, that's an extreme, but at the same time, you think that we've become so normalized by the violence in this society.
We've become numb to it.
We're completely numb,
right. But
it's only to black people. When you have a Sandy Hook or, little Jessica and up in the, Danville, California goes missing or, everybody gets in an uproar. But when it's our children, whether it's a 7-year-old child, whether it's a 7-year-old Ayanna Jones in Detroit, Relisha Rudd being, kidnapped, missing, nobody says anything.
Right. We're going to open up the phone lines in about 10 minutes. And the call-in number is 347-633-9644. This is Enemy Minds Radio with Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali, and we're going to open up the phone lines, and we want to hear what you have to say, especially about this next clip. We're going to talk about this black on white crime. Matter of fact,
that's a good one. But you can play the other one too. Tavis Smiley went in, right? The one with Tavis.
Oh yes. Let's play this one with Tavis Smiley. Now I don't pick and choose whose side I'm on. I'm on the side of truth, regardless of who it comes from, and I'm sure y'all know that by now from listening to the show. All right. So let's hear what Tavis Smiley had to say, and then we're going to open up the phone lines and hear what you have to say. We're going to take your questions and your comments here on, I was about to say WNME, on Enemy Radio with Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali.
Continuing now with our lead story is the media reporting black-white crime accurately. Joining us now from Los Angeles, radio talk show host Tavis Smiley. All right, Tavis, you heard the talking points of Mr. West, and you say?
I say, first of all, that what's lacking in this conversation is an empathy and appreciation for the humanity of Trayvon Martin. I say what's missing in this conversation is the reality when you talk about these stats that most whites are killed by other whites, most blacks are killed by other blacks. That's the bottom line. I say what's missing in this conversation is the reality that in this country, sadly, the life of a black child does not have the same worth and value as the life of a white child. When Sandy Hook happened, the empathy and the appreciation and the reveling in the humanity of those children was present all over Fox News and every place else as it should have been. African Americans are not seeing that same kind of empathy and appreciation for the humanity of Trayvon that they saw for the children of Sandy Hook. I'm waiting to hear, I haven't heard it yet, I'm waiting to hear the NRA say that if Trayvon Martin had had a gun, he might still be alive today. The bottom line is that race is still the most intractable issue in this country, and when an adult can profile and stalk and kill a child in America, our democracy is threatened. The bottom line is this, that if Trayvon Martin had been Mark Zuckerberg, the most well-known white guy in America who walks around with hoodies on every day, he wouldn't have been stalked, he wouldn't have been killed. And the bottom line further is that if Mr. Zimmerman, if Trayvon Martin rather, could get his life back as quickly as Zimmerman got his gun back, I'd feel a lot better.
All right. Now, I'm going to correct the record. I've been very empathetic to the Martin family. You can check with Mr. Crump, their primary lawyer, on that. Number two, do you believe that the trial was fair? Did you see anything in the trial that was unfair?
I think the fact that Mr. Zimmerman is free today speaks to the fact.
You want to get specific, specifically in the trial? The way the evidence was presented, the way the state conducted the prosecution and the defense conducted what they did you see anything that was unfair?
Not necessarily.
Okay. So, you didn't see anything unfair. I didn't see anything unfair. So we have to go by what the jury, and we assume that they're good, honest people, came to the conclusion. Now, let's advance the story. Yesterday on Good Morning America, you made a very provocative statement. Roll the tape.
I think this is, for many Americans, George, just another piece of evidence of the incontrovertible contempt that this nation often shows and displays for black men. Something is wrong when adults can racially profile children. Trayvon Martin was a child, racially profiled and gunned down.
Okay. Now, the words incontrovertible contempt, and you and I both agree that the trial was fair. I don't know where the contempt is coming from. And maybe in George Zimmerman's heart, he's contemptuous. Maybe. There's not any evidence of that. I mean, the FBI didn't find that. But where is the contempt coming from?
Let me define what I mean when I say the trial was fair. Under the rules that the jury was given, the evidence that the judge allowed in and not allowed in, and I can certainly debate you on what should have been in that wasn't allowed in, but under the rules they were told to make a decision by, the trial went along as it should have. Here's the problem. The problem is that in the state of Florida, this law itself, so you ask about the trial. Let me back up before the trial. It's the law that I have a problem with.
And that's what
nobody has Eric Holder was talking about today. George, no, people do have a beef on that. There are a lot of people who believe that Zimmerman had a right to stand his ground, but the reality is that Trayvon did not have a right to stand his ground, Bill.
That's up to the state of Florida to decide. The legislature and the governor, not you and me. We can oppose it.
No,
but you don't say.
No,
you made it. Well, wait, Tavis. You made it very, very personal. You said that America has contempt for black men. And they don't. America doesn't have contempt. That's wrong.
That's not true.
You
Bill,
can't
Bill,
back
I said
it
already.
up.
Bill,
You can't back it up.
I'll back it up right now. I've said already that black men so often are viewed in this country as a menace to society, number one. Number two, look at the criminalization, the over-criminalization of black boys in our education system, number two. Number three, look at the racist drug laws. You got to get caught with more crack than powder cocaine to get the same sentence. Look at the high unemployment numbers in this country with specific regard to African-American men. And finally, consider this, Bill. The only reason why this case even was brought in the first place, the only reason why it even came to trial is because there was a national hue and cry. If there were the value for black male life in America that there is for white male life in America, it wouldn't have required all that it took just to get this even, the charges even filed, the case even brought,
Look,
Bill.
I'm glad the case came to trial. I think the trial was fair, and all the points you raised are societal problems where there is another side. There's genocide going on in Chicago, and it's blacks killing blacks, okay? Whites have nothing to do with it. I don't believe that America has contempt for black men. I believe a lot of the problem is generated by the blacks themselves that won't solve the problems of their neighborhoods.
Bill, I just offered 5 reasons, 5 specific examples of how there is contempt still in this country for African-American men. The bottom line is the same. Black life does not have the same value as white life in America, and that's sad, Bill.
Well, I'm telling you, if you look at the people who are murdering, it isn't whites murdering blacks. It's blacks murdering blacks.
Bill, what are you not hearing? Blacks kill blacks. Yeah. Whites kill whites. Here's the bottom line. And they all do it with guns, and you ought to get on the right side of the gun control conversation.
Gun control is not going to solve the issue. What will solve the issue is federalizing all gun crimes. No, it wouldn't. Criminals will always get the guns, Tavis.
What will solve the issue is getting the guns. We got to get the guns off our streets. That's how you solve the problem.
Then you have to revoke the Second Amendment, and you're not going to be able to do that.
No, there's a huge gap between repealing the Second Amendment and reasonable gun laws. A huge gap, Bill, and you know that.
Well, I could solve the problem by federalizing gun crimes, but you wouldn't back that because you'd say the sentencing was unfair when the guy with the gun got 20 years.
And I could solve the problem too. Arm every black person in America, and then let's see what the NRA has to say.
All right, Tavis. I mean, that's a little extreme, but we always appreciate you coming on and.
Right, that's a little extreme. Yeah.
Let the NRA arm every black man, and black person in America.
Yeah. So in the book Black on Black Violence, Dr. Amos Wilson goes on to say, Black on black violence is reflective of vain attempts to achieve basic positive human ends in a negative environment by negative means. It represents an often misguided, furious struggle for self-affirmation by many African Americans while entangled in a white American-spun spider's web specifically designed and constructed to accomplish their disaffirmation. Black on black violence and criminality are rooted in positive white American values. Irrational quest for power, prestige, possession, affection, and acceptance among peers so as to secure illusory reassurances against anxiety, self-contempt, and feelings of inferiority. They are rooted as well in attempts to protect against exploitation by others also caught up in the same rapacious social environment generated and sustained by egregious white American values. For too many American youth, being cut off from the path to legitimate and self-determined personal accomplishment as a result of the underdeveloped power of the African American community, the violent subduing of others may often be their only significant achievement and claim to fame. Now let's put that in a language for a 16 or 17-year-old to be able to understand.
How about the 10-year-old that's listening right now?
The 10-year-old, yes. So what he's saying is, and this was the thing that stood out to me, black on black violence and criminality, in other words, our young men being prone to violence or doing crime, are rooted in positive white American values. These are things that white people strive for. Irrational quest for power, like manifest destiny. Right. We're white, so we can go all around the world and capture all of the native people and take their resources.
Right,
exactly. We can do that because we're white. Prestige, possession, affection, and acceptance among peers so as to secure illusory reassurances against anxiety, self-contempt, and feelings of inferiority. He's basically talking about the the hypocritical reality of white people around the world.
Right.
They say they want power, prestige, affection, possession, but they also have anxiety, self-contempt, and feelings of inferiority.
Right.
So our children, our sons in particular, are striving to attain what white people have established as values, as things that are important. Material wealth, looking at a show like Cribs, putting out a movie like Scarface, making this man look like he has all the power. And you notice that so many rap songs reference Scarface.
Right.
But this dude was a dope fiend. He was a dope fiend.
Dope seller, trader, dealer. Yeah. But we don't look at that.
Yeah. So, the Italians, right? The Italians are fly. The Italians are, but they are usually cheaters.
Well, that aspect of the Italians, we can't indict the whole Italian people for what the mafia.
You're correct. You're absolutely correct,
Right.
and I stand corrected.
Okay.
The mafia,
Right.
the Italian mob.
Right.
We use their names like Gambino and all of the different
Right.
mob names that rappers use, and we look up to them. But when you look at what it is that they really stand for, be it gambling, be it drug trafficking, be it stealing, they stole. They were thieves, right? So,
and there was a lot of Jewish people that hid and pretended to be Italian.
Yeah.
The Bugsy Siegels of the world were not Italian; they were Jewish.
Yeah.
Okay.
We look up to them though, and our young people aspire to them. Why?
Right.
Because they don't have positive black male images that they can look to and see what real manhood is.
Exactly. So what this racism, white supremacy does, it provides you with the image to look up to. It's young black people to look up to, young black children to look up to.
So he ended it and said, the violent subduing of others may often be their only significant achievement and claim to fame. And I remember Dr. Joy DeGruy, she talks in her book about the thing that she noticed the most, because she was studying for her, what do you call it when you graduate?
Dissertation? What?
Your dissertation.
Uh-huh.
She was studying violence. She noticed that the main undercurrent when she was talking to the young black men is respect. They want respect.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So why is it that young black men, out of all the rest of the young men in this country, are so privy and so prone to needing and wanting and willing to kill for respect?
I think simply because at once upon a time we were rulers, and that is at the core of us. And to see that everybody, all the other races of people, can now come and disrespect the black man. We don't want anything. Well, we do want our riches back. This is how come when violence kicks off with the rioting and that kind of thing, you're bound to see looting, because everyone, and I'm going to say this and I want y'all to listen good, because I'm tired of hearing y'all Negroes on the internet talking about, well, they're looting. We're taking back what they took from us.
And it's their way of saying fuck the system.
Exactly. Well,
excuse my language.
The 10-year-old is listening.
Excuse me, young man. Bump the system.
So you need to understand. You need to understand this desire of ours to get back our riches, our goal, ourselves.
Right.
Hell, they stole everything, including us, and brought us to America.
Right.
So we have to understand that particular dynamic.
I'm looking at the comments in the chat room. I think when we do the Alchemical Cipher, we need to do a show on the mafia.
Okay.
The mob. But, you said something about, while we're talking about this whole concept of respect, this is why we go hard on the Raven Simones and the Lil Boosies and the Charles Barkley, because self-esteem is everything. If our young people can't establish confidence and self-esteem, with you sitting up and telling the world that black people are the worst race, and black people hate each other. Charles Barkley's like, I want to just slap the
yeah.
It's like for these people, Stacey Dash and Pharrell Williams and all of these people who keep coming up, who are actually black and who our young people look to for advice.
Right. Two things, Zaza. Respect. Re means to bind back to. Inspecto means to look. And the only thing black men are saying is, we want respect. We want you to look again.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
The other thing is the names that you just ran off of these Negroes, I often say, and I'm going to say it again, and we're going to open up the phone lines right now, they're not trying to destroy racism, white supremacy. They're trying to find a comfortable place in it. And finding that comfortable place requires them to down their own people, to speak ill of black people.
Yeah.
They'll get the stroke and the pat on the back and the pat on the head from white people, and white people will let them in until white people decide to destroy them.
So this is why we do what we do, and we'll continue to call them out and blast them every single time, because we want the young 10-year-old who's listening, and Desmond and all of the young brothers and sisters who are coming up, to feel prideful for being black, to feel prideful for who we are as a people, and everything that we've accomplished and everything we've been through, opposed to, you know, wanting to get blonde hair and blue eyes and skin lightener and, you know, whatnot, because you hate yourself, because everybody, including your own people, is telling you that you should hate yourself.
Right, exactly. All right, the call-in number is 347-633-9644. This is Enemy Minds Radio with Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali. We're going to open up the phone lines, and yet again, please, no long dissertations. All right, come on, ask a question, make a comment, make it brief, make it quick. We only have a few minutes. There's a lot of people in the call queue. If you are sitting by yourself listening to this, all right, there's an African proverb, each one teach three. I need y'all to contact 3 other people right now and tell them that we're on and popping here on Enemy Minds Radio. Give them the call-in number. The call-in number is 347-633-9644, or go to www.blogtalkradio.com/minds, MINDZ, matter, MATTER. And if this young lady is sitting across the table from me, keep making these faces, it's going to be a problem up in here. All right, the caller that's been holding the longest, I'm not sure who they are. I'm just going down the list right here. All right, this is a good place to start. We're going to start all the way in Buffalo, New York. Caller from the 716 area code. What's good? You just listening? I don't mind. I don't mind. I really don't mind. Caller from the 720 area code. It's Professor Griff ZaZa Ali. What's good?
Yo, keep family.
Hey, what's good with you, man? You all right? We ain't catch you in the middle of nothing, did we?
Oh, no, God. I'm just chilling, listening to the dialogue. Appreciate it. I'm Denver, Colorado, young. I just want to pay homage to you, Griff, and ZaZa, but you particularly, Griff. You played a more than an integral role and significant role in my growth and my development and consciousness. I started becoming conscious probably like 2 years ago when the whole Illuminati theme was bubbling. So that's where it started. Yeah, I purchased a book, The Psychological Corporate War on Hip Hop, read that, and that really started me on my path. So, I appreciate you for the work you're doing and the work you're doing now.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you.
There is it's not a homeschooling group, but there's a black school that my nephew attends. It's like a little Hebrew, like an ancient Hebrew school, but it's for black students. So I don't know if we can get down with the cooperative economics for the schools, the program that I know you guys got running.
We definitely can.
Yeah, just send a message on Facebook through the cooperative economics. If they have a website or contact information or something we can find, we can look into to look at the school. That'd be great.
All right, bet. I'll be sure to get that information to you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, appreciate the work, man. Sister ZaZa, Professor Griff. Appreciate it.
All
right, peace. All right. Economic. Shout out to Sister Rose.
Sister Rose holding it down. Everybody they're making their cooperation. Yes, it is cooperation for cooperative economics. Everybody has been very progressive in making their donations, and we are definitely having a great impact on the sister and her school. So shout out to Sister Rose, the Know Thyself Academy.
All right, cool. Caller from the 718 area code. Shout out to the UAM in Brooklyn, New York. Me and ZaZa will be there January 14th up in Brooklyn. All right, caller from the 718 area code. What's good with you? All right, you just listening? I don't mind. Isn't that song, I Don't Mind? It'll come to me in a minute. Caller from the 904 area code, I believe. That's Florida somewhere. What's good with you? It's Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali. What's up?
What's good, ZaZa? What's good, Professor Griff? Before I go on my question, I want to ask y'all about the in-house thing. I don't know if y'all can mute the people who listening, but I want to say, come back and say anything, or y'all say anything that kind of, start some other stuff. But I want to ask y'all about contraband radio. What's going on with that?
Oh, with Kalanji?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When that Ferguson thing went down, man, Kalanji was one of the ones in Ferguson on the front lines, and a few things went down. He had to take care of some things and clean up house and get some things in order. But the brother will be back. Hopefully, inshallah, he'll be back. And because he was putting out some vital information, man. So, matter of fact, we'll hit up Kalonji and let him know that you're concerned about him, and we'll let him know, man. All right.
All right.
All right, good brother.
All right.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Contraband Radio. Hopefully we'll be back on the Minds Matter Blog Talk Radio Network. We're going to stay in Florida for a minute. We're going to go to the 954 area code. This is Enemy Minds Radio. What's good? All right, popping popcorn. I don't mind that either. Frying eggs or something, whatever you're doing. We're going to go to the D, Detroit. Caller from the 313 area code. This is Professor Griff ZaZa Ali. What's good?
Hey, peace, Griff. Peace, ZaZa. How y'all doing?
Peace. What's good?
Hey, I was just saying everything y'all dropping tonight is definitely real. I think, I hope most of your listening audience already know, one of the main causes of the black-on-black crime is just self-hate, and not enough of our brothers and sisters knowing enough about the love that we should have for each other as a people to unite. So
you're absolutely
that's all I got to say. Y'all dropping some jewels. I hope people taking notes because I know I am.
Oh, give thanks. You take care, good brother. All the way from the D. All right. Shout out to Nandi's in Highland Park on Woodward. Nandi's Knowledge Cafe in Highland Park on Woodward. Hopefully we'll be black there. All right. Caller from the 708 area code. It's Professor Griff ZaZa Ali on Enemy Minds Radio. What's good? All right. Caller from Illinois somewhere. Ain't no problem. You can just listen. I don't mind. Caller from the 310 area code. 310. This is Professor Griff ZaZa Ali on Enemy Minds Radio.
Hotep, and may I say thank you.
All right.
This is Brenda, West Coast, Compton. Haven't talked to y'all in quite a while, but black-on-black crime. First time I ever experienced it was when somebody told me I was a fair-skinned Negro, and they were chocolate brown, the color of my father. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from? I think
what was
black-on-black crime originates from slavery, when the slave masters used to get us to fight each other. You know, house Negro, field Negro. Get at it for somebody's entertainment. And the self-hatred's a part of it, for sure. I agree with the prior caller. We need to get a lot of love to each other to get beyond this. Because what they got planned for us is so wicked. What they got planned, people don't realize we got FEMA camps set up in all these states.
Right.
So if we don't strategize how we react to what they got planned, they're going to pick people up in trucks and ship them off just like they did the Japanese, World War II.
You're absolutely
correct. A lot of young people today don't remember that. My mother grew up telling me that her best friend was Japanese.
Okay. How would they remember?
Moved her family up in the 1940s, took them off to Santa Anita.
Oh, okay.
Took all their belongings.
How would they remember that if they're not taught that?
Exactly.
So we're trying to educate young people to understand what happened to our brown cousins, the Japanese people, when they was put in internment camps. You understand what I'm saying? So that same thing could happen to us. So
and history repeats itself more so in this country than most.
Right. Okay.
And we can't be reliving the 60s. We got to create something new. Hands down, be prepped for the draw. None of this hands up, I can't breathe. Take a deep breath and put your hands down and be ready.
Right.
Because what they got planned for us, we can't have our hands up. I'm not submitting. I'm ready to fight.
Well, you're right. That hands up thing is definitely a comedic thing, and I think they borrowed that particular thing. And it's also a Freemasonic thing.
Exactly.
And you're right. It's about submitting. They want us to submit. They want the average psychopath police officer that's itching to use his firearm, his sidearm, and to spill black blood simply because of this genetic inferiority complex that he's walking around with.
Very much so. And we have to remember our brothers that have become police enforcement officers. Some of them have been deprogrammed. They don't know who they are. So they're not on our side. They see us and we're an enemy.
Exactly.
But then we have the others that we can turn. And when it comes to it, they will not be with them. They will come with us.
Right, exactly. All right, we really
Thank you, guys. I love you, too. Be well. I don't know when you're coming to Cali, but I'm laying in wait.
Oh, okay, now we'll be out there. As soon as Zaza's book drop, we out there.
Yes,
all right, wonderful.
Sister Lori at Juicy Juice, she hits me up all the time. Well, that's going to be one of the first stops along with Oakland. I'm definitely looking forward to going back to the town. I want to drop something. You could take another call, but I do want to add another equation to the conversation.
Oh, okay, cool. My brother Ross Bob and the Craft Unity Center, man. Can't wait to get back there. My brother Siddiqui holding it down in L.A. We're going to take 2 more calls, and then we're going to hear from Miss ZaZa Ali. But caller from the 813 area code. This is Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali. What's good? Just listen. Don't mind. Caller from the 832. I believe that's Texas. Caller from the 832.
Hello?
Peace.
Yeah, hello. What's good, man?
Man, I didn't think I was going to get on. Peace up, peace, guys. I just want to touch y'all real quick, man. It's good to hear from y'all, some real soldiers out here, man. I thought I was by myself.
Screw version, man. We got you, good brother.
Hey, but I just want to say, man, to me, it's like right now in day and age, it don't even matter what's going on. Like, because I know we be putting a lot of information out here, and the first thing people want to do is not just say question it, because questioning is good, because then you can get further understanding by asking questions, but they just want to deny it. And to me, like the last person was saying, and the brother before that was saying, it comes with that self-hate and that black-on-black stuff that was started to me back with that Willie Lynch stuff. Mm-hmm. I feel like if we really put that out there and address it, then that can be at least some kind of foundation that people can be like, and can look at it and be like, okay, I kind of can see how that relates to what we're going through now today. It isn't to that extreme, but at the same time it is, because you see the welfare state that's still going on right now. And you see the killing of anybody who is a strong so-called black figure that's trying to, do something positive. They end up getting desecrated and killed. So it's like, to me, like, and then a lot of people, like, I know me personally, a lot of people that I'm around, especially out here in Houston, where I'm at, H-Town, they don't even know about the Willie Lynch. They ain't never even heard about it. So it's like, to me, it's like, that's real relevant. If people knew about it, then they can just be like, and then when I do tell somebody about it and they read it, they be like, damn, I ain't even know. And like, to me, I was always questioning, like, why the fuck are black, why are black people like the way that they are? I know this is not the way it's supposed to be. And I kept asking that question, and then I came across the Willie Lynch, and to me, that says it all right there. If we just look at that and address that, then I ain't going to say everything just going to fall in place, but everybody going to be able to look at it and be like, you know what, that is a starting point. That right there it ain't necessarily the starting point, but it's at least people who are not conscious at all can go and look at it and just be like, man, you know what, I need to really sit down and think about this. But that's all I had to say, man. Y'all keep it up. Y'all keep me motivated. I'm definitely not going to put my hands up unless I'm going to be fighting somebody. So, yeah, let's do it.
That's right.
All right, peace, man. All right, from the H-Town. All right. Before I go to Philly, you want to read this?
Yeah, I just want to add this to the conversation because, we either believe that our people, especially our boys, are inferior and that they are prone to violence, or something is happening to them that is leading them towards being more violent prone. So there's a conversation that I have in my book where it is Alex Jones and this doctor. Have I read this on the show before?
Yes, you have.
Well, he's talking, then I won't read it again. But he's talking
No. There's some new listeners.
Okay.
Especially the 10-year-olds. So just because I've heard it before. And, a few other people.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So in it, he is talking about, let's see. Let me pull it back up. This is Alex Jones and this doctor. I'll pull his name up in a second. But he says it's important that people understand that according to Roger Masters, they tested 450,000 children. They're talking about a study that they did back in the 1980s. Or 90s, I'm sorry. They wanted to be sure what a good job they were doing. They did this on 450,000 children. They measured the lead in the blood. If you were black, your level of lead in the blood went up 6 times, Hispanics 4 times, and white it doubled. Now, why is that significant? Because lead causes a pathological behavior. It causes rage, anger, and criminal behavior. It is the lead intoxication of the vast majority of blacks in our country that is leading to the black criminal activity. Alex Jones responded and said, and by the way, they knew this in 1800. Napoleon would give his less aggressive troops a puncture of lead, saying it got the blood up and made them more aggressive. So again, a lot of this has been known for hundreds of years. The doctor responds and says, and they're doing this to blacks in America today. And the fact is, most people have never heard of this. We do have several interviews from Roger Masters. They're vitally important. If you care about your black brothers and sisters and your Hispanic brothers and sisters, understand they're poisoning them with water fluoridation. They know exactly what they're doing. It later goes on to talk about the fact that they're diverting higher levels of fluoride into the black community.
Right.
And this is just, they recently put out I think it was 2012 or 2013. They talked about the levels of lead that were in the pipe system in Chicago, that because the pipes are so old and rusted, they have high levels of rust and high levels of lead.
Right. This is why we tell people don't drink tap water.
Never drink tap water. None of us should be drinking tap water. But I say this to say, we have to start thinking from the mindset of what's wrong, what's happening to our young people, opposed to it's us. That's just them out. I don't know what's wrong with these young people.
Right.
No, what's wrong with them?
Right.
Figuring it out. In the 1950s and 60s, we didn't have 15 and 16-year-old black children killing each other.
Right. Then we got to get to the point where I think I written down the schools and the jails, the walls are this lead poisoning.
Exactly.
In the schools and in the jail.
And if you live in a home that was built before 1962, I believe it is, you should definitely have a lead poisoning test done on the paint in your house, because most of the houses that was built before 1960 were not built with lead safety standards in mind. So you may actually be living in a house that is poisoning you and your children.
All right. Back to the callers. This is Enemy Minds Radio. Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali. And caller from the 267, I believe this is Philly. Caller from the 267. What's good?
Peace, Professor Griff. Peace, ZaZa. How y'all feeling?
Peace. What's good?
I got a couple of things I like to say. First, I like to talk about this thing they're talking about. The U.S. and Cuba is they're having talks and all this craziness.
Bruh, do me a favor. This is the wrong show for that. We are talking about black, or we're trying to stay on subject. That's going to be next week.
Okay.
We gotta get this out of our system.
Yes.
We have to be able to have a family discussion about black on black violence. What is the root cause of it, and why we're doing it in servitude to white domination. All right. So just think about it for a second. Take a deep breath. I'm gonna put you on hold for a second. I'm gonna take one more call. I'm gonna come right back to you. All right.
Hi, I got you.
Got you. Caller from the 504 area code. This is Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali on Enemy Minds Radio. What's good?
Hey, how y'all doing? How the polarities doing this evening?
Peace.
All right. Peace. How the what?
All right.
Did you say priorities?
No, polarities.
Oh, the polarities.
Polarities.
Okay.
Yeah. Masculine, feminine principle.
We got,
yes, sir.
we there.
All right. First, Professor Griff, I wanted to know, did you receive a picture? I sent you a picture, and it was what it was. It was actually a picture from a magazine of a black person hugging a cop, and it was saying the picture of the year.
Yeah, I got that picture.
What was it?
This sister was hugging a white cop.
Oh yeah, crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that picture.
But also I wanted to add that no matter how wrong they are, they always make sure to make themselves the victim. No matter how wrong they are and however they treat us, they always make sure we the victim. Like they always address black and black crime, and they got other sambos doing it at the same time.
But you know something? This speaks to what I just spoke about. What Bobby E. Wright was talking about as far as them being psychopaths. You understand what I'm saying? They can't feel guilt.
Yes.
They don't know how to feel guilt. They're always right. They're always justified. This is why they have grand juries, because they could go in secret and they could get all the evidence, and they could come say to you, well, you don't have all the evidence. This is why this particular decision was made. That's BS. We see it for our own eyes, and now they're equipping all the police officers with body cameras. Stop that. There was a brother that shot the murder of Eric Garner. We see it with our own eyes, but the grand jury says something totally different. You understand what I'm saying? We can't live among these people in peace. So I suggest we start. No, go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
When I was going, and also add, also I believe a lot of people are delusional about the fair-skinned slaves. I think all of them believe that all the fair-skinned slaves were inside, and that wasn't true. I'm dark-skinned, but I also know, because I read a few books and stuff, and it's, fair-skinned men was out there in the field also. They wasn't just inside and just, the good Negro, as they call it.
What we know what we should do? Tuesday, we need to just dive back into the Willie Lynch letter. And we need to break it down for everyone that didn't read the book, don't have the book, and we're going to read the book from cover to cover on Tuesday. How's that? We're going to break this thing down so we can understand it from that perspective. But we really appreciate your call. Where you calling from, good brother?
I'm calling from Slidell. It's like outskirts in New Orleans.
Slidell? Who? Slidell.
Slidell?
Slidell. Shout out to Ray out there, man.
Like Sly?
Stop that.
Like
Louisiana, Shreveport, Slidell, Baton Rouge. Yeah. All right, good brother. We really appreciate
you. Professor Griff.
Yes, sir.
I just want to add one more thing and ask you a question. Yes, it's going to be real quick. Whenever something's going on, do other cultures ever address us as our black brothers and sisters going in, or our black brothers and sisters dealing with that? Because I noticed
they don't.
Exactly. Okay.
Because of what Hidden Colors spoke about, we're their mothers and fathers, and they won't even admit that. You understand what I'm saying? They won't even admit the fact that they omitted us and wrote us out of their history. But I really appreciate your comments and calls.
All right, you too. Y'all stay up.
Right. So can you do me a favor? Pour me some lemonade too, good brother. All right, thanks, man. Really appreciate you. All right. We're going to take 2 callers at one time, and I hope this doesn't backfire on me. We're going to take the caller from the 646 area code, and we're going to take the caller from the 813 area code. What's going on with y'all? Y'all good?
Greetings, yes.
All right. Peace. What's happening?
How are you all doing? This is a wonderful show tonight. This is Lady Dove Bay. I wanted to make it quick as I can. I'm long-winded. That black-on-black crime up against the police, murdering our people. When I was on the streets of Cleveland, I went to the clerk of courts one day because we were one of the first ones to get on the scene when the police murder somebody so the bodies can't be tainted. For the first time, I was shocked. It wasn't even 6 o'clock that evening. 20 young men had been murdered by the police. So if we are doing black-on-black crime, they don't have no right or no reason to murder our sons, our husbands, our uncles, and our kin. Not at all. So what? There's been white-on-white crime since they even was walking upright, before they were even walking upright. So that black-on-black piece, that don't have a damn thing to do with you European monkeys, okay, blowing our brothers away. No, you have to stop.
But I think what they're saying is they're basically saying that why are we always getting an uproar when white people kill black people, but we never get an uproar when black people kill black people?
If it's their house, it ain't none of your business.
So you think we should handle our own business as a family when it comes to black-on-black crime?
Yes, we should. Segregation put us in this situation, okay? We didn't need segregation. We had our own stores, our own schools, our own hospitals. Those Europeans wouldn't come over there where we were at. They thought we were dirty. Our people put us back in. But today we're standing here. We got to take up this battle we fight now.
So as far as what we are facing right now, as far as black-on-black violence and young black men killing each other on a daily basis, what is your perspective of that? What is at the root of that, and what can we do as the future generations, their elders, to curb that violence?
Teach us who we are as a people. I've studied ancient history, and I'm a Moabitist. That's one of the 4 bloodlines that I have in my blood. These elders need to get out here and start educating. People like myself, you, Griff, and ZaZa, yes, you two are doing a wonderful job, okay? Others have to get out. These elders cannot keep these ancient secrets and carry them to their graves, okay? Yes, they have a price to pay, but we're paying now.
Okay, let me ask you something real quick because we're kind of pressed for time. You said you're Moabitist, right?
Yes.
If Eric Garner was a Moabitist and Trayvon Martin was, you think they would have gotten murdered because of their status or because of them being a Moor? You think they would have looked at that?
Well, I can't say Trayvon Martin. You know what? I can't say both of them because you're educated in doing certain things, and your spirituality is going to go in a whole new different direction. Eric Garner,
the brother was walking to get tea and some Skittles Christians, Muslims, Moors, whoever. That's so.
I can't say that for Trayvon Martin. I can't say anything for Trayvon Martin. He was a young man. He was walking down the street. But Eric Gardner, I'm not saying he was wrong for what he did because he didn't know any better. And even if he did, so what? His life still should have been snuffed out in 3 minutes. But
I'm asking you a direct question. If Eric Garner was a Moabitist, would he have gotten choked to death is the question that I'm asking you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if you're a Muslim, Christian, RBG, homie, whatever, you like the Celtics or whatever, it don't matter, right or wrong?
Right, correct.
Okay. All right. I hear you, sis. We're kind of pressed for time. I don't even think we're going to take any more calls. Matter of fact, we're going to have to take one after you because my 646 caller, she had something to say, but we kind of dominated the conversation. We really appreciate you as always, sis, all right?
Thank you. Peace and love. Y'all have a blessed evening.
Peace.
All right, 646, I don't know who you went to, but I'm opening your phone back up if you
Hello?
Please say this is you, 646?
Yeah. Hello?
All right, peace. What's good with you?
Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Yeah. I missed you when you came to New York. I had to work that day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just want to say about the black on black violence. I think I gotta say what Chuck D said, that brutal captivity produces brutal behavior, and since we've been treated so wrongly in this country, and sometimes we can't get at the people we want to get. We get frustrated because it's combined with our socioeconomic conditioning. We just take it out on each other. Because I know growing up, me and my friends, we was cool, collective kids because our environment, we had to adapt to the same brutal things that was going on in our streets. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of that, our behavior, because after this, being treated wrongly or the lynchings from generation to generations. So a lot of times that hardens you, like being put in jail. So you have to be tough. You have to react to your environment and everything. So before somebody to get a chance to say something, you got to strike first. And it's not right. We shouldn't do it, but that's just the mindset of survival and trying to get this money and all that kind of stuff. That's all. That's all I want to say. I like your work. I hope to see you in New York pretty soon. Hope I can get out there.
All right, we'll be back. We'll be in Brooklyn on January 14th. All right.
All right, man. All right, thanks a lot.
Peace.
All right, take care.
Let me say something real quick. There's no way in hell that I would be living with my child in an environment where he couldn't walk safely down the street without getting killed.
Right.
I know, we have money issues, I understand all of that, but just me as a mother, there is no way in hell, I don't care what I had to do, that I would not pull my son out of that type of environment to make sure that he was safe. So, brothers and sisters, we have to start. I said, I don't remember where I was at, but talked about us starting to create black communities, moving to areas where it's predominantly black. I'm not talking about the projects. I'm talking about communities like in Decatur and certain parts of Oakland and, communities where that there are black people, where you can feel safe. That's one of the solutions, and that's a short-term, mid-term, long-term type of goal. But also, one of the things that I did, I volunteered and taught at juvenile hall. We have to stop being scared of talking to these young people. We have to find a way to reach them. Because once we reach them, if we can just get their ear and let them know that we love them, get them to put that lace weed down, put that liquor down, put that ecstasy down, put them pills down, because that's what's messing up their minds. And I had wrote a note earlier. I wonder if any research has been done as far as black-on-black crime. I think the number's over 300,000 since the 1980s of black-on-black murder. How many of those young black males were high?
But how many of would have, like the sister said, Sister Bay, if we'd had knowledge of self, if we'd have been taught of the ancients from the ancient ways, if we'd have been taught this stuff, maybe it could have changed our set of circumstances.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, I was at a parking lot at a store in Oakland in the parking lot, and a brother stepped on a young brother's shoes, and he was ready to get him up.
Oh, wow.
But when I looked in his eyes, they were like, they were so red and glossy, I was like, oh, yeah, he's loaded. And I got in my car and drove off real quick. But that situation can so quickly turn into a violent situation where somebody ends up getting killed, and that's happening in Chicago every single day. So before we get into that, what do you want to leave the people with as far as solution-oriented? What can we do? What should we be doing to do something to curb what's happening in our community?
I think in the discussions that we already had, I don't like running down a list, because when you run down a list of what things that people should do, because we did that show already. I think the necessary material that we laid out, I think people should study it like we study it, analyze it, and teach it to your children. But I think even before picking up Amos Wilson trying to decipher that, of course, you probably have to sit in a study group in order to even understand that, to bounce some things off of some people. Basic stuff that we talked about in one of the last shows. Basic stuff. How about speak to one another? How about be pleasant to one another? How about call the person the name that they want to be called? If the sister want to be a Moore, then call her a Moore. If she changed her name was Lucy Williams, and she want to be Ancient Hatshepsut Ptah, whoever, then fine, call her that. You understand what I'm saying? Respect people. Be pleasant to one another. Pick up the trash around where you live. You understand what I'm saying? When you're driving, let people go first. Give people more. No big I and little you. I am because we are, therefore I am. I can give you a long list of what I think people should be doing, but that's just Griff. You understand what I'm saying? Some people say, well, that's too damn difficult for me, Griff. You understand what I'm saying? You talking to cats that's still watching porno and smoking weed and drinking and watching football games all damn weekend. You got to give them simple things to do. For us to dump 5 books on them and tell them they just need to read, that's just too damn much. So, as far as running down a list of things, I'm saying, number one, let's study. This is why we formed the Cypher Online Study Group. Let's study so we can understand some of these things, because to know better is to do better. Well, to do better, we have to know better. And I think all those that know better will do better. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we want to study. Let's get together, let's study, let's go over some of this material that our brothers and sisters that have made their transition into the ancestral realm have left us. All right, so that's our contribution, myself and ZaZa Ali, along with the homeschool curriculum, along with the other things that we're doing. All right, those are some of the solutions. When you set in motion the cooperative economics, and we're gonna fund and finance some of these independent black schools, we want to start catching these young people early, so they don't end up being the Mike Browns or the Trayvon Martins.
And I will just add to that before we close. I think that we have to find a way. In most cities, there's organizations that are geared towards, quote unquote, urban youth or at-risk youth. There's boys and girls clubs, juvenile detention centers, organizations and whatnot, where you can actually interact with the young people who are in need of the most help. Find a way. You have to find a way. Go and meet with the person who is running the organization and say, I just want to get in where I fit in. I think a great method of teaching is getting young people in a room and putting hip-hop rap lyrics under a microscope and having play the song, then put the lyrics up on and having a real conversation. Bobby Shmurda just got arrested. And I just saw a video of him and a bunch of other brothers who were chained together, and they led them out of the New York Police Department and all on camera and whatnot. Have a conversation about that, and then pull up the lyrics to his song that everybody loved, that everybody was doing the Shmurda dance. If you really listen to the songs, this youngster sound like he got a few bodies under his belt. You know what I'm saying? So thinking outside of the box, talking about the Willie Lynch letter, breaking that down. Showing DVDs and documentaries like Ma'afa 21 and the Venus Hottentot dealing with Sarah Bartman. Just using videos and different methods of teaching opposed to sitting down and actually. Ain't no young people going to read Black on Black violence. I can tell you that right now. Amos Wilson is an intellectual. We have to go into that book and pull out what we need to give to the young people and put it in their language. But find a way. First, accept responsibility. All of us, these are our children. We have to find a way. Get in where you fit in.
All right. Not this Saturday, but you have the information for this Saturday. Can you pull it up? But anyway, December 27th, Saturday, December 27th, myself and ZaZa will be at the Sweet Spot in Atlanta, Georgia, 675 Metropolitan Avenue, Suite 6018. in the ATL. We'll be talking about a mental genocide, black people in European holidays. All right. For more information, you can call me, Professor Griff, at 678-557-2919. To get directions or the gate code, call 404-656-0437. That's 404-656-0437. Y'all got my phone number, 678-557-2919. I hope y'all been keeping true. Now, listen, if you're suffering from a medical condition or whatever, we don't expect you to fast, do the juice fast every Wednesday. But those of us that are healthy enough to do it, let's fast on Wednesday. We're doing juice fast, just liquids, nothing but liquids on Wednesdays, all right? All right, 12 o'clock Tuesday night to 12 o'clock Wednesday night. The whole day, nothing but liquids. Feed your mind, nourish your soul. Shout out to Free Yourself Designs for the flyer, all right?
And don't forget to like on Facebook, the Social Media Drop Squad. Just go to the Social Media Drop Squad, just Social Media Drop Squad. Like that, we are working to, I know the page has picked up a lot of steam. I haven't had a chance to interact, but Sister Erica is holding it down. Go and like the page, and what we're doing is finding videos, not finding, but when we come across videos that are, you don't, not at all. When you come across videos that are, putting the wrong image of our young people and maybe even our women or our people in general, we want to get the numbers up to where we can have 5,000 people go and report that video and have it shut down.
Right.
That's the level that we have to get to, where we see 7 and 10-year-old girls twerking and we say, we ain't having it. Everybody goes and reports the videos, and we get it shut down. That's the goal that we're striving. So shout out to all the brothers and sisters who have been actively participating in the page. This Saturday, December 20th at 4 o'clock, Professor Griff and myself will be doing the lecture presentation, The War on Black America, The Killing of Black People, Will It Stop? That's at the Everlasting Life Restaurant and Lounge. That's located at 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Excuse me. If you want information about tickets and more information, call Griff at 678-557-2919. Again, that's this Saturday, December 20th. We're having an eat, meet, and greet. Professor Griff ZaZa Ali at Everlasting Life Restaurant and Lounge.
All right, the Warriors Conference, the Sapo Connection presents the Warriors Conference in Miami, Saturday, February 28th, 2015. Doors open up at 1. All right, that's Florida Memorial University. 15800 Northwest 42nd Avenue, Miami Gardens. All right, myself, Marimba Ani, Irritated Genie, Sarah Sutanseti, and Wally K. Bomani Baruti. All right, Precise Science is going to be there, and Tahir RBG is going to be performing, and a few other people. All right, that's the Warriors Conference, February 28th, 2015 in Miami, y'all. All right, so we're going to make it happen in the bottom. Any more announcements, Mrs. ZaZa Ali? And I'm sure you have a quote, right?
I do have a quote.
All right, talk to me then.
My quote, where is it?
You see what I got to go through?
Bam. Okay, cool.
She said, bam. All right. All right, come on, what's up?
Straight hood. David Banner said, it's hard for you to dream when you don't have a bed to sleep in.
Ooh, I like that.
That is extremely, that's exactly on point.
19.
Kwame Ture says, we cannot have the oppressors telling the oppressed how to rid themselves of the oppressor. Kwame Ture.
True.
We cannot have the oppressors telling the oppressed how to rid themselves of the oppressor. We hope you all enjoyed the show. We will see you all on Tuesday when we're going to take down and knock down and chop down as, what's the sister's name from Queens of the Ring? Anyway, I'll tell you. We're going to deal with the Willie Lynch letter on Tuesday, and hope you will join us, and so we can kind of tackle this thing. All right, Zaza, let me play this. Let me bring this song up. My man Roger, we're going to end off with Roger Intelligence. We're going to see y'all on Tuesday. Remember, each one teach one. Shout out to my man Wise Intelligence. Now we'll be saying out Black Did I. Alright, we'll see y'all this Saturday in Capitol Heights. Peace.
Flow with E3's like wind. MCs don't got nothing for him. Whatever you need, I got that. You better believe I hot that. Drop down and get jiggle on. So they fuck that. This here rapping's a hobby. I do it a little too good. Whatever your name, you bore me. You corny, fuck your hood.